Welcome back, everyone. So Star Wars has released a second trailer for the Bad Batch series on Disney+, and before I get into it, I have to say that it looks pretty damn good, and it definitely got me extra excited to see more of our favorite defective clones. Along with this trailer, Star Wars also announced that when the series drops on May 4th, it will be a 70-minute premiere, which is great news because in this style, we can enjoy it as if we're watching another Star Wars movie. And to get all of this on Star Wars Day, I can barely hold it in. But there were a few major details in this trailer that brought up some pretty big questions in my mind. So today, we're going to dig into this trailer and try to answer these questions as best we can. Oh, and before I forget, since this show is directly related to the Clone Wars, I may drop some pretty big pieces of info for that show, so consider this an official spoiler warning. Alright troops, let's get to it. We start the trailer with our boys, Clone Force 99, entering the Citadel training ground on Kamino. This looks to be the same training course that the Domino Squad had to beat during their arc in the Clone Wars. The main difference is that this time, it is Admiral Tarkin who is administering the course instead of Jedi Master Shaak Ti, showing that we're well past the point of Order 66. We then get a montage of the Bad Batch doing what they do best, while Tarkin explains in a voiceover how even though they exhibit great ability as soldiers, their tendency of rule breaking and disobedience is concerning to them. I'm glad we're getting scenes like this because remember, this is the early days of the Empire, so knowing how strict their system is, this will pit the Bad Batch directly against the fascist-style government that's on its way to overtaking the galaxy. Next, we get some really cool action shots of the team, and then our newest surprise character shows up and introduces each member of the team to the viewers. We see Hunter, Echo, Tech, Wrecker, and Crosshair illustrating all of their special abilities. Now there's not much information on this child, but her name is apparently Omega, and she'll be joining the Bad Batch on their adventures. We'll get to why she makes me so curious towards the end, but moving forward, we're then shown Admiral Tarkin giving an order to have Clone Force 99 quote, found and wiped out, which will evidently be the overarching premise of the show, especially seeing that the guys are on the run from other clones for the majority of this trailer. After that, we get another look at bounty hunter Fennec Shand, who is again played by our favorite Disney princess Ming-Na Wen. From the looks of this trailer, it seems as though she was hired personally by the Empire to capture the Bad Batch because let's be honest, we know the regs are gonna fall short. And as we know from the original trilogy, the Empire seems to have a thing for hiring bounty hunters to do their dirty work, so I'm excited to see how this storyline will tie into the future. Following this though, we get some quick cuts of the Bad Batch escaping the Kamino cloning facility with Omega by their side. During their escape, we also get a ship chase, because it's not Star Wars unless you have one, and in probably the best blink and miss it moment in the trailer, we finally get confirmation that Captain Rex will make an appearance in the series. I'm sure he's been through a lot since the siege of Mandalore, but knowing that he removed his inhibitor chip and technically didn't follow Order 66, I'm curious to see how he will tie into the story. Next, we're given a voiceover by none other than Rebel soldier Saw Gerrera. I really appreciate that they brought back Andrew Kashino, who voiced Saw in the Clone Wars Battle of Onderon arc. I also noticed that Saw's beginning to look more like his Forrest Whitaker counterpart, growing a beard and even sporting a few more war scars than when we last saw him. But during Saw's voiceover, we get a glimpse of what looks to be an Imperial-occupied Onderon. I swear that planet just can't catch a break. But in the last few shots, we see Fennec Shand in a speeder chase with the leader of the Bad Batch, Hunter, which reminded me a lot of the speeder chase from episode 2 with Obi-Wan and Zam Wesell. This one seems to be much cooler than that, but I can respect how they keep us nostalgic with callbacks like these. We end the trailer with Wrecker living up to his name, Hunter goes toe-to-toe with the Zygerian slaver Peep the Light Whip, and the very last shot is of the team going into hyperspace while Omega looks in awe to the next adventure. Strap in kids, this is gonna be a wild one. Fun fact, I remember first seeing the Bad Batch when it was still an unfinished Clone Wars arc after the show initially got cancelled. I just remember being sick that these episodes would never make it to TV, so you can only imagine how excited I was to not only see these guys get their full arc in the Clone Wars final season, but now they're getting their very own spinoff. It's just crazy how things work out sometime, you know? But the main thing I'm looking forward to from this show is the new and returning characters to the series. For one, we have to talk about Tarkin, who looks to be the main villain of the show. I hope they stick with that because as much as I love to see Darth Vader, we can all agree that he's been overused lately. And at this point, he's got Renegade Jedi to worry about, so I don't think this show will require a Sith level threat. Also, look closely at Tarkin's face during the testing scene on Kamino. Even though it looks like our boys passed with flying colors, he looks displeased and incensed by the individuality that they show. It's not much room for improvisation during a full Imperial takeover, so I can't wait to see exactly how they clash with each other. Either way, seeing a direct transition from Republic to Empire would be fantastic. Fennec Shand is a welcome addition as well. As much as we've been seeing voice actors bringing their characters to live action, it's nice to see the trend going the other way around. Also, don't forget the last time we saw her in The Mandalorian, she was by Boba Fett's side while they took over Jabba's palace. So will we see Boba Fett make an appearance? What about Cad Bane, Bossk, Embo, or any of the other bounty hunters? I think all are fair game at this point, because when the Empire wants you, they're sending a lot more than one person. Saw Gerrera looks to be back to his freedom-fighting ways. His quote about adapting to survive or dying with the past was very telling. Since we're seeing the Empire put their iron grip on the galaxy, we know Saw will use whatever methods he deems necessary to fight back against them. Judging from his past appearances, I'm definitely expecting him to cross the line more than a few times. Another interesting question about this trailer is, where is Crosshair? He's in the trailer for sure, but for most shots, we don't see him fighting with the rest of the team. My two theories on this are either 1, he could possibly die early this season sacrificing himself for the squad, which I really hope doesn't happen. Or 2, which I think is more likely, is he joins the Empire, leaving his team behind in the process. I mean, when the Bad Batch was first introduced, Crosshair was the shit starter of the group, but let me know what you think in the comments. And last but not least, we have to talk about our brand new entry, Omega. We're not explicitly told who she is, but the name Omega usually means the end or the last, and judging by her accent when she talks, it's clear that she will most likely be the last clone of the Jango Fett archetype. What I'm most curious about though is how she will fit in with the team. She's obviously a big fan of them because they share a common trait, which is uniqueness. So what unique ability will Omega come forward with? The fact that we haven't seen a female clone to this point already makes her different from every other clone on Kamino, but I'm curious to see exactly how she'll benefit the team. In the trailer, we also see her use what looks to be a Night Sister bow. So with that image, will we get an Asajj Ventress connection? We may even be able to link in Night Sister Merrin or even Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order. Time will tell, but the only thing we can say definitively is that she will most likely work as the entry point for most children viewers to relate to. We all had one that got us into Star Wars. Some had Ahsoka, some had Ezra, and if you're my age, we had Anakin. So it should be fun to see how it all comes together. But what are your thoughts on the new Bad Batch trailer? What other characters do you think we'll see join the series? Whatever your thoughts are, please leave them in the comments below. Also, if you haven't yet, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to keep receiving these videos. Lastly, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DizTheWiz12. I'm looking forward to watching and reviewing this entire series when it comes out on May 4th. But until then guys, have a great day and may the Force be with you. Until next time.